Hello artists, this is Castle here, and we're going to talk about animating a ball bouncing in stop motion by drawing it. Okay, there are different ways to make a ball bouncing. You can make it bounce up and down. You can make it bounce in and out. You could make it bounce off walls or off the sides of a box, or walls or whatever inside a room, like a regular rubber bouncy ball. The concept is the same, that each time you draw, you're moving the ball a little bit. But there are some things that we want to think about when when you're drawing. Oops, that is so crooked, and I'm trying to draw underneath my iPad and look at the iPad Chromebook while I'm trying to draw. So I have my floor there, and you could make that out of marker if you wanted to, because that, unless you're changing where the ball goes, that's going to be constant. So, and actually I'm going to scooch this down a little bit so we have a little bit more room. I'm going to leave it in pencil for right now. So let's have our ball. This time I'm going to have the ball bounce in, and we'll just bounce up and down. And I want to talk about a couple of ideas here. Oops. Okay, if you want to, you can trace something round until we get to the point where it hits the tape or the floor or the table or whatever it's bouncing on. And it's probably good if you tape your paper down so that it doesn't move around. But I'm doing this at home, and I don't have a roll of masking tape. So, all right, let me grab something round that's not too big. It's better if it's kind of small so you aren't. And what I decided to grab was a cap from one of my paint bottles. Okay, so I'm gonna start over here at this, kind of at the, it's going to bounce in from up there. Now, since it's off screen, I don't have to, there we go. I don't have to draw the whole thing. So capture that. Actually, let's do a couple to establish the ball. And then I'm going to erase. Lots of erasing. I'm using one of my, and since we can see where the ball was, we can see exactly how far, oops, pencil's a little bit long because I've got my paper propped up a little bit. I'm gonna use that little boop. Okay, that looks like it moved a little bit more than I meant it to. Okay, that moved a lot. Well, okay, this always has the little ghost image or onion skin, so you can see where things were, so you know exactly how far they've moved. And I moved my paper when I was erasing, so I'm going to put that back. And now, one of the ideas I wanted to talk about is if something's falling, like the bouncing ball, a little bit more movement between capturing, this is kind of a mess, makes sense because things fall quickly. Okay, capture, erase. Okay, so I'm going to move. I'm going to make it kind of move a little bit more. Be careful about my tracing so I don't have to go back and erase. Okay, now we're going to get to where the ball is going to be hitting the floor, table, whatever, the surface, whatever that is, whatever you want it to be. And so we're not going to trace the whole thing. I'm going to do a shot, well, as it just hits the table. I'm going to let that be a shot or a frame in my movie. Trace around the top. It's going to stay kind of in the same place, but the top is going to sink down and we're going to have the bottom of it squish out some. And we want to do this sort of slow. I'm just going to go around the top and can probably do that a little more gradually, but for demo's sake, I probably should have erased the original one first. Okay. I'm going to do the same thing. Oops, I'm going to erase first this time. I learned my lesson. Okay, a little bit more down. I'm going to squish out. Let me do a couple more of these. And then we'll have it go back up. And that's kind of nice because you can retrace some of the lines going down. And one more, and then we'll bounce, well, let's bounce back up. Okay, so if probably should have taken a couple of pictures at the very bottom. To slow it down a little bit so we could see at the bottom. Go up one. And even taking multiple pictures as it's hitting the table, like start with the, you know, when it's hitting the table, start with 2 pictures, and then as it gets to the point where we're at its squishiest point, maybe 3 pictures there, and then reverse that process. And that will kind of slow things down and make it a little bit more cartoony, which is actually what we're creating here. Okay, now, let's see how long. Okay, so at this point, you can make it bounce straight up and down again. You can have it bounce to another location. It's up to you, but the process is the same. Falling, more space between when, when you're wanting it to slow down, put the pictures closer together like we did there. So let's play it and see what it looks like. Okay. I'm kind of excited about that. That was fun. So, so make your ball bounce at least make your ball bounce 2 times for your video. So, and I will put that on the page with the video, and can't wait to see your bouncing ball. So have fun. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.